let's take a look at Rich's video, because Rich did a video about, well, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to say anything, but this I do think will be rage-inducing. Excuse me. I do think that this is going to be rage-inducing. So buckle up. Let's dive in.
A DC journalist for The Hill says that because the United States defense spending is so out of control, the logical solution is to get rid of the Marine Corps. Why? Because their purpose is outdated and, people could fall in and do their job easy peasy, no big deal.
Some fucking journalists thinks that the Marines should be disbanded. Chat, you do not hate journalists enough. I cannot, I'm not gonna speculate. No, actually, fuck that, I am gonna speculate. I will guarantee you this journalist is some SJA fucking flag-waving moron who has no fucking clue what he's talking about, and it's just like, because Trump deployed the Marines into U.S. cities that were basically going tits up, that Marines suddenly equal fucking bad. I'm betting you that's what this journalist is gonna be.
Everybody welcome Harrison Cass, or
Here we go. Harrison, okay, let's get the bio. Senior defense national security writer at the National Interest, attorney and former political candidates who joined the Air Force as a pilot trainee before being medically discharged. There it is. He is a failed Air Force pilot. So not only is he a former political candidate, he is a failed Air Force pilot. So he failed as being he failed as being a politician, and he failed as an Air Force pilot. He is a failure. So, of course, Marines bad.
Ass! He's a real asshole!
Yes! 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 Woo! Oh, there it is! I'm a failed Air Force cadet, yet I still feel the need to talk shit on much larger, more successful, and more lethal people.
Now, if you're wondering to yourself, well, why would this guy, this casshole, why would he say that getting rid of the Marine Corps?
Hold up, no. Rich, are you sure you don't mean he's a asshole? He's a asshole. That man is a asshole. I know I can't do it as good as Eli, but I can try.
You're wondering to yourself, well, why would this guy, this casshole, why would he say that getting rid of the Marine Corps is one of the best fiscally responsible things you could do to decrease the DoD spending? Well, if you look closely here at his bio, it says, Cass is an attorney and former political candidate who joined the U.S. Air Force as a pilot trainee before being medically discharged. If you don't know what that painful sigh was, that's the sigh of every military member realizing, wait a second, this guy dropped out of basic training, and he's gonna put that in his bio like some sort of prideful remark, and then tell us what to do in the military that he couldn't hack it in? Great. Now, before I go through this dumb Cass's argument as to why we should get rid of
Well, Revan, they get less funding than everyone else, and they're also the first ones in times of war. In times of war, the Marines are the first ones hitting the fucking ground and stacking bodies. So, yeah, your opinion is stupid and you should feel bad.
of the Marine Corps, obviously a dumb idea. First, a word from this video's sponsor. Debt. Oh, it doesn't break in, it creeps in. A second notice, a missed payment, a call you ignored. And one day your account's locked and your wages are garnished. The future you had planned gone, and debt doesn't leave fingerprints, but it destroys lives all the same. And that's why I'm here to talk to you about PDS debt. Because PDS debt has helped hundreds of thousands escape debt from credit cards, loans, and medical bills. And they can help you too. PDS debt goes way beyond the numbers to understand your unique financial position and craft a personalized plan designated just for you. There's no minimum credit score required. They're here to help you. They're here to help you save more, pay off debt faster, and start putting money back where it belongs in your pocket. And of course, PDS debt is rated at an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. And along with that, it's got thousands of 5-star reviews on Google because PDS debt helps you get out of debt. And with PDS debt, you're only 30 seconds away from being
No, here that's what I said. That's probably why he's talking shit because the president has been deploying them in cities that have been going up for grabs to try and restore order, and he's butthurt about this. That's why I said he's probably an SJA flag waver that's probably just like, no, you can't deploy the Marines to stop riots from ripping cities apart.
Debt-free. Don't wait for debt to strike again. Break free in 30 seconds. Get your free personalized assessment, pdsdebt.com/angry. That's pdsdebt.com/angry, pdsdebt.com/angry. Now, before we get started, let me address something that I just said a moment ago. Those who haven't served are probably looking at me and saying, wait a second, the guy went to basic training but got meted out. Like, he tried his best and probably got hurt. Why is that a bad thing?
No.
Why are you making fun of him, AC?
Oh, highly
Let me tell you
extra
why.
doubt on that.
Because when people are proud of that and put that in their bio, it usually means that they washed out themselves because they had a splinter or they didn't feel like getting up to shave. Now, was it a real medical reason? Sure. Yeah. But was it a medical reason cloaked in the bull of him being a to get out? Most likely.
And more importantly, he's putting it in his bio for clout. As stupid and as streamery as this sounds, he's literally putting the fact that he was an airport trainee that meted out for clout to give him legitimacy. And yeah, Revan, I was gonna say shin splints too, but I decided not to. He's effectively speaking, yeah. He's trying to give himself legitimacy for commentary in regards to the military as a journalist. That's it. He's trying to make it seem like, yes, you should listen to me because I used to be in the military, so I know what I'm talking about. And that's literally it. And the normies who don't know any better will see that bio and go, oh, he was in the military. I guess he knows what he's talking about when he comments on military operations.
Now, I'm not saying that's 100%, but if it quacks like a duck and walks like a duck and spouts off stupid like getting rid of the Marine Corps and proud trainee that got med-morted out, oh, I'm really...
And by the way, he's also sticking his ass in where it don't belong. You were a failed Air Force pilot, gamer. You weren't a Marine. So why are you talking about abolishing the Marines if you were Air Force? You don't even fucking know what the Marines do. You know what the Air Force does. So why are you commentating about a completely separate division of the military that you were not even a part of and demanding that it be abolished?
Feeling bag energy. But anywho, let's take a deep dive in this article. Allow me to read it for you, Marines. Last month, the Marine Corps turned 250 years old. But as America reflects on its most mythologized service, we should ask a different question. Do we still need the Marine Corps? Yes. Yes, we still do. Asked and answered. Oh, there's more? Okay. As Congress prepares another record-setting defense budget, the U.S. needs to consider whether the Marines' sustained independence makes strategic or fiscal sense. The simple truth is that the Marines became redundant long ago.
How? How would the Marines become redundant when they are literally the tip of the spear and they are the first ones in on the ground? Explain to me how that's redundant in any way, shape, or form. It's quick answer. It's not. Redundant would be if the army goes in first and then the Marines come in to mop it up. If anything, by your argument, and this is not me saying this is true, by this guy's argument, that him saying the Marines are redundant, that argument, by that argument alone, the Army should not have infantry. The Army should not have ground troops outside of armor. By this man's logic of being redundant. Yeah, Atanashi, I said it before you, so... By this guy's logic, it's the Army that's the redundant one, not the Marines. Because the Marines are the first ones in there on the ground in any conflict. The Army is the ones that come in behind them. And basically, the Marines take the landing site, they lock it down, and then the Army comes in to do their Army things. So his logic means that by his logic, the infantry division, the infantry type jobs in the Army should be the ones that should be eliminated, and the Army should basically be a ground vehicular force with like armor units and artillery units. That's his logic right there. Marnia's military inventions complex. First forces hit. Grounders typically at special forces. Yeah. Well, okay. Fishizi, I'm not talking about like covert insertion.
Marines are invading force. Army is an occupying force. This guy dumb.
I know. It's all shades of stupid. And yeah, like Fishizi, I'm not talking about those like special units that go in with surgical insertions. I'm talking about a full-on war unit going in and taking the landing sites to the first ones to the first ones to go in and secure the area for the Army then to come in and then set up ops for the more long term. That's what I'm referring to. Rangers are not exact. Rangers kind of fall into the same. Good. You're talking about both. Okay, I'll talk to both. Rangers are more. They're similar to like the SF units. Rangers are more specialized. They're not the main like fighting bot. They're like not the main fighting body that first inserts into a conflict area to secure it for the main body of the Army to come in and then lock it down. Rangers are much more specialized. They have very specific objectives that they are sent out to do. Okay, now we're talking semantics. Now we're talking about semantics about that they are the first boots to hit the ground, like special forces, Rangers, doing specialized insertion operations. Now we're getting semantics. When I say they are the first boots to hit the ground, I'm talking about they're the first boots to hit the ground on a large fighting invasion force. That is what my reference is, not special operations stuff.
You hear that, Marine Corps? Do you hear that, Devil Dogs? You guys have been redundant for a long time. Forget about Fallujah, okay? Forget about Marwa. Forget about some of the fiercest fighting in GWAT where the Marines went in and up. You're overhyped and overpaid. Which is funny because in the paragraph before, I skipped over it intentionally, he says, the Marines have evolved into a sophisticated and celebrated expeditionary arm, notably perfecting amphibious warfare in the Pacific and exemplifying American valor in conflicts spanning continents and eras from Tripoli, Iwo Jima, Incheon, Quezon, Fallujah, and the Helmand province. Which the last two were only like 15 to 20 years ago. So we're starting off the article with, look at how great they are and how recent their accolades have been. They've been redundant a real long time. Now Cass goes on to say that during World War II, the Marines were island hopping, their amphibious assaults were outstanding in the Pacific, and they really solidified what their job was. But then says because of nuclear technology and missiles, the Marines' job is no longer important. Oh, except for that.
Spoken like a true chair force person. That because missiles exist, there's now no longer need for ground forces. Because of course he would say something this fucking boneheaded. You can't missile strike everything, numbnuts. Every conflict is not solvable by a missile. Okay, what happens if you have a populated city that has insurgents in it? Are you just gonna missile strike the entire fucking city and kill innocent civilians? No! You're gonna send in fucking Marines to do building clearances to ensure the civilians try and stay safe as best as possible while killing the bad guys. You can't fucking do that with a missile, no matter how smart it is, asshat. I can see there's a reason why you are a failed Air Force pilot.
Oh, except for that one landing in Incheon in Korea, but you know, Vietnam and everything else, they were useless. But then following their uselessness, after Korea, Cass goes on to say, the Marines reinvented themselves as a rapid reaction crisis force, again demonstrating their legacy characteristics of speed and mobility in Lebanon, Grenada, and Panama. But these were short and symbolic operations, mostly divorced from wider U.S. strategic objectives, which hinted at a question already worth asking in the 1980s. Why do we still have a Marine Corps? Holy shit! Do you see how brain dead this guy is? Look at these times they were great at it, but they're absolutely useless for the past 80 years. But here's a couple examples of what they did 30, 40 years ago. But, you know, they're still dumb. Why do we...
He wants his ass cake and to eat it too. That's what this Mort is trying to do. He wants to have the entire ass cake, but he also wants to just dive face first into it and consume it all himself. He wants it both fucking ways. But he still wants everybody to say, you're right. Like, and just remember, chat, this guy is currently he holds a law license. Well, actually, I don't even know if he does, because it says he's a lawyer, but does he actually still retain a law license? In it, the guy's bio, don't forget, the first part of his bio said he was a lawyer. Does he actually still retain a law license? Because if he does, do you really want a lawyer that has this ass backwards fucking thinking to be defending you in court? He'd probably say, you know what, Your Honor? Defense strategies are redundant, so you can just go ahead and throw my client into jail because this whole legal system is just redundant. So let's just get it over with. Sounds pretty fucking stupid, don't it? But I bet you that's how he thinks.
We have a Marine Corps. Jeez, I don't know. Why would we put together some of the baddest motherfuckers on the planet that just go places and wipe out the enemy and then just keep it moving? Why would you want to employ those guys as a tactic in combat? Oh my God. A failure pilot washout airman is gonna say, I don't understand why the Marines are even viable. Well, you kinda touched on it, dipshit. The Marines are a quick reaction force, yes, all right? They're an invading expeditionary force that pushes into an area, f***s it all up, and then moves on. Their job isn't supposed to sit down, maintain, and hold space. That's the Army's job. The Marines go in, they f*** up. Can the Army do that too? Absolutely. Why do you think we got the 82nd Airborne or 75th Ranger Regiment? They go in, they f*** up, allowing sustainment troops to get a foothold in the area and then continue with those operations of moving forward and pushing into the battlefield. It's like hitting puberty and then looking at your mom and being like, well, why is Dad still here? Because he's got a driver's license, you dipshit. You want to go to hockey practice? Because Dad's the only guy that's got the keys to the truck that can haul your happy ass around, drop you off, and then go to the next place to pick up your brother and sister. For clarification, I am not saying that the Marines are my daddy. The Army is the oldest branch. We are your daddy. We have expeditionary forces too, and we have sustainment. So unless you want to run out of rounds in the middle of the battlefield, Marines, I hope that you keep the comment section polite. Now, when it comes to the Navy, that might be a different story. Marines kinda own you. Since the Soviet Union's collapse and the terrorist attacks of 9/11, the question has only become more pronounced. As operations in landlocked Afghanistan and near landlocked Iraq proved, the Marine Corps has become redundant with and dependent upon the other services.
I think Zach, veteran with the sign, might have something different to say about that. Because for those of you guys that don't know, Zach, otherwise known as veteran with the sign, is a Marine and was injured. I believe he was injured.
Angry Cops, 2025.
He was a Marine. He was, I think he was in GWAT. If I'm remembering correctly, Zach was in GWAT. And he is a proponent of or he's an advocate for PTSD. Because he suffers PTSD, and he's a big advocate for it. And I'm pretty sure he did get injured in combat when he was in Iraq. I believe I could be mixing up his history with someone else's, but yeah, so Zach might have a few choice words for this guy. In fact, I'm guessing Zach's Twitter feed might be exploding right now when this first came out.
Service branches. Yes, they always have been, because they're an assault force. They're not just supposed to sit there and nation build. The Marines are there to break your shit and then move on. But you know what happens in combat? Oh, but you wouldn't. You trainee pilot, airman, medically discharged guy. In combat, roles can change.
Well, no, I know Eli got like injured. I do know that. Okay, Zach was in Afghanistan. Okay, that's where he was at. Okay, I figure I kind of got the locations big up. I couldn't remember if Zach also got injured also. Yeah, Zach veteranly assigned is the one that tells the donkey story. For those of you guys that know about the donkey story, Zach is the one that told the donkey story on Unsub. Pretty sure he told it at the shows too. It is a horrifying story. I thought he did sustain injury in the line of duty also, but perhaps I'm mistaken about that. Like, I know Eli did. I'm aware Eli did. He got his Purple Heart for that. But I thought Zach did also. Yeah, well, no shit, Crispy did, Rev. No shit on that one. But if anybody knows, did Zach receive injury in the line of duty or not? Because the one thing I know about is he experiences PTSD from his time in Afghanistan. And that's why he's a huge advocate for service members who are experiencing PTSD, so they can get the care and the benefits that they are so deserving of. But I thought there was more than just him being PTSD advocate.
Pilot, airman, medically discharged guy. In combat, roles can change and you'll get put in places where you do well. And since the Marines are so gosh darn good at killing, all they needed was a little bit of support from the Army here and there to keep on killing. All right, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna read the end of this paragraph, and then I'm gonna read the beginning of the next one. And you remember how he keeps kind of going up and down with, they don't belong here. Oh, here's an example of why they belong. Oh, but I don't want them here. Oh, but here's another example of why they're doing a good job. Today, the Navy handles amphibious operations, the Army provides expeditionary ground forces, and Air Force and Navy share air support, leaving the Marine Corps' mission capabilities in conflict with the more robust and more singularly capable branches. This is an airman saying that we're better at being Marines than Marines. Let's get into the next paragraph.
No. Rich, this is a failed airman saying that they're better at being Marines than Marines. We need to stress this point. We absolutely need to stress the point that he is a failed airman.
Being Marines than Marines. Let's get into the next paragraph. Now, as China rises, the country with all of that coastal space for amphibious landings? Which, by the way, the Navy might handle amphibious landings, but it's Marines that are on those ships doing the landing. Just because they drive the boat doesn't mean they've got everything handled once they get their Marines on land. Who do you think the fighting force for the Navy is? They just send in 1,000 SEALs and that's it? No, man, you need frontline troops. Anyway, now as China rises and U.S. strategy pivots towards the Indo-Pacific, oh my God, island hopping the Pacific again? Who the kind of history are doing that, you asshole? The Marines are attempting to adapt. You mean do the job they were made to do, born and bred to do? The Marines Force Design 2030 proposes a shift away from the heavy armor deployed in the Middle Eastern conflicts towards small, agile, anti-ship missile units. So the Marine Corps adapting from different battle spaces is bad? What do you think that we should have?
For fuck's sake, the motto of the Marine Corps is literally improvise, adapt, and overcome. And he's going to knock the Marines for adhering to their mission statement. Dumbass.
Never adapted our Civil War military with cannons and horses for World War II. Just said, planes, man, we don't adapt over here. Great-grandfather Casshole doesn't want us to change and adapt, especially when in a different battle space. Mountains are no different than sand. Water, no different than land. A smack from my father's hand. The plan, however, mirrors existing Navy and Special Operations Command capabilities rather than inventing or adopting a distinctive role. For everybody that's not in the military and those of you that are, Special Operations are not supposed to do all the operations. One of the soft rules, there are 7 if I'm not incorrect, my old SOCOM training has been a while. The 7 soft truths, one of them is if a normal line unit can accomplish the task, then a Special Operations unit or Special Operations Forces should not do that task. So while Cass here is thinking, well, why don't they just send in the Green Berets and the Navy SEALs? Because if other people can do it with less training, then we don't need to send in the guys we're spending millions of dollars on. Not everybody is...
Like the basics is Special Operations is the scalpel. The Marines are the machete, and the Army is basically the machete No, the Army's the one holding the machete. Okay, the Army's the ones that put the machete back into the chest. Fuck, okay. This comparison got me fucked up. The bottom line is, Spec Ops are a scalpel. You put them in, you would send them in, okay, there you go, yeah, arm is a broadsword. Actually, no, that would be the same, okay. Fuck, my soliloquies are all fucked up. Anyway, yes, my analogy is fucked. Spec Ops is the surgeon's scalpel. The Marines are the broadsword. The Army is the fucking vehicle-mounted weapon that comes in behind the bladed weapons. Sure. Okay. Well, do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm saying it very fucking poorly, but you get what I'm trying to say. Special Forces is used for very specific surgical operations. They are not used to basically clear a landing area or to secure an area for the Army to come in and set up operations for the more broader operation at hand. That's basically it. You don't want to burn your SF on securing a landing site for the Army to come in and set up deployment, because it's dangerous, and these guys are specially trained for these very task-specific operations, and not to just go in and fuck shit up just freaking bowl over the enemy to make room for the Army to come through behind them. That's basically it.
The SEAL, but a lot more people can be a badass Marine. And mirroring capabilities, that's the point. You find out what works on a small scale, and then you expand that scale and see if your line units, battalions, brigades, divisions can then handle it and how they would work that in to their battle plans. Oh my God, this guy's an idiot. Goes to show you don't need a brain to be a lawyer, kids. The Marine Corps received $53 billion for fiscal year 25, about 6% of the U.S. defense budget. Let me get this straight. Hold on. This is the whole point of the article.
Actually, it's easy. No, you keyed on something. Marine forces are a scalpel. The Marines are the combat knife. The grunts are the broadsword. There you go. There you go. There's your descriptives. SF is surgical scalpel. Marines are the K-bar, and the Army is the broadsword. There.
Let me get this straight. Hold on. This is the whole point of the article, is that we should save money, and the way that we save the most amount of money is by getting rid of the Marine Corps. You're saying that we can have psychotic teenagers with aircraft and armor do amphibious landings for just 6% of our overall defense budget? You're saying that the whole Marine Corps is only 6% of our defense budget?
Shut up and take my money.
What a deal. I give you 6% of our overall defense budget. You give me one of the most feared fighting units in all of world history. Are you f***ing high?
I'll make that deal. How about you, Udovich? You make that deal?
I'd make that deal.
I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
Frankly,
And by the way, this is also ignoring the fact that if this lunatic got his wish and the Marine Corps was abolished, he would bitch about what that 6% gets spent on. Because I will guarantee you, this guy's in his twisted, fucked up head is thinking, get rid of the Marine Corps and take that 6% of the budget and give it to the people. When in reality, that 6% of the budget would basically just go into more military shit and he'd be bitching about that instead. Yeah, I will guarantee you that's his thought process. And Fallen Exia, thank you for the prime.
frankly, I would look at whatever else we're spending money on. Because 6% going to the entire Marine Corps? That's it? And we're getting that much bang for our buck? Oh, hell no.
Yes.
You know Halliburton and whatever Dick Cheney's other companies were making way more money than that. And they were playing the system. You want to figure out a way to save money? Dip. Look at the ridiculously, and I dare say intentionally corrupt housing companies that run on-base housing. I did a video here, fell for beating, absolute garbage. Long story short, you've got companies that are running on-base housing that don't fix shit and then cook their books to make it seem like they're fixing stuff faster to get tens of millions of hundreds of millions of dollars in bonuses is for work that they didn't even do. They just pencil.
Wasn't there also a thing about food services on some bases where there was some am I remembering this correctly? There was some like shenanigans with the food services on a couple military bases where they were like, you know, like troop, like they were closing down they were like chow halls were closing, like they closed down all but like one chow hall, and then they were pocketing that money. Like, what about that? Yeah, it was Fort Hood. Yeah, that's another one. Like, why aren't you looking at that bullshit?
Whipped it and said, oh yeah, we were there and we got it fixed done in like 5 minutes when it took like 10 days, but nobody complains enough. But no.
Yeah,
we shouldn't look at corporations to take advantage of the government. No. We should look at the most feared fighting force in all of American history. Yet funding is sustained, not because of mission requirements, but because of political popularity and the Marine Corps' enduring public standing. You think, hold on.
Oh,
You think the only
God.
reason why we have the Marine Corps is because they make good commercials and they're pretty in parades? Are you retarded? Did you not just state some of the battles that they were in that are the most iconic, bloody, devastating battles in American GWAT history, and the Marines wiped everybody out and said, nah, we're here. I mean, the politicians suck, but we are really good at killing. And we'll do that all day long until there's nobody left to kill. Teach them how to read? No. Killing them? Hell yeah, Marine Corps. Few American institutions command such bipartisan reverence as the Marine Corps. The Marine myth, cultivated so convincingly through advertising. The proud San Iwo Jima Full Metal Jacket, flags of our fathers, a few good men. Do you think Full Metal Jacket showed the Marines in a positive light? I mean, it showed the Marines, but I mean, to each their own. But either way, he's saying that it's because of movies that people want the Marine Corps around.
And there it is. How many times have I said this? How many times have I said that the people in charge that are not military or civilians think like this goes back to what I was talking about the other day, where people like where Rich did his thing about people were saying that the drug boats getting missiled was a war crime. That people like this use Hollywood movies as their metric for how the military should operate. And he does this, and he's doing this too. He's doing it like the Marine myth based on fucking Hollywood. He's doing the exact same goddamn thing that I said earlier. That they're basing their entire premise of the military and how the military operates on fucking Hollywood. This is what happens when you fail in the Air Force. You think that Hollywood is reality. Dumbass.
He's saying that it's because of movies that people want the Marine Corps around. Not at all because It makes f***ing badasses. I feel like this guy is one of those idiots that just says, well, because we got air superiority, we can just kill a dude whatever we want. Like, no, dude, you need ground forces. You need ground forces.
Yes.
And
yes.
if I'm gonna pick a ground force, I'm gonna pick the United States Marines. You know who's after the United States Marines? The Army. Honestly, it's like the Marines and the 82nd Airborne are both on like the same basis, but the 82nd is huge compared to the different Marine Corps divisions. Yeah, I think it's a tie between the Marines and the 82nd Airborne, and then you'll have like additional military units. It's so
Hey, because I know someone in my chat is gonna say it, don't forget about 77th ID. Let's not forget about them, Rich. Because I know someone in chat's gonna pop that up in my chat very shortly.
Is different, right? I'm talking about like infantry units, line units, battalion, brigade, division size elements, not special operations. But as the U.S. defense budget trends toward the $1 trillion mark, it is time to ask difficult questions and prioritize fiscal realities over mythology. Mythology? What is this, Zeus shooting lightning bolts out of his ass? There's a history, well documented, of the Marine Corps just shit up. But you're saying, oh yeah, all those movies based on real events, yeah, those are myths now. Those are just dumb. That's candy canes and lollipop garbage. The Marines aren't worth the 6% of our overall DoD budget. I still can't get over how upset he is. 6%. 6% for the Marines?
I'm telling you, his thought process is take that 6% and give it to the people. I'm telling you right now, that's where this idiot's head is at. I will guarantee it.
Corps? Do you know how many other countries would kill to spend $57 billion a year and be like, we have the United States Marine Corps? Get the away. Back it up. Don't come near me. I'll let them loose. They will kill and or everything. Streaming redundancies in our force structure would save us billions per year, which could then be allocated towards pressing initiatives, whether military, like cyber warfare, autonomous platforms, hypersonic missiles, or non-military, infrastructure, healthcare, and semiconductors.
Hold it! Fucking called it! What did I fucking say? Oh, let's take that 6% and put it to, like, people. I fucking called it.
No matter what you have, you've got infantry and then you've got support. The whole point of a defense force is dudes on the ground that can hold.
Hey, Chad, why is he blurring out his hands like this? Rich, you're not. Why?
Territory, and then everybody else that supports them in doing so. You stupid fuck. You're always gonna need, listen, let's be real here. Vietnam, Afghanistan, dudes with none of that shit repelled the United States. Mainly because politicians would let us go ham and they wanted to do nation building. It's stupid. Should have bombed the ever-living out of Vietnam. Like we did the one time, which brought them to the peace table, but then we never did it again.
Yeah.
Because politicians were like, oh, but war. I'd much rather put Americans on the ground and have them get shot at than bomb the other people who are killing our guys that are down there. As Congress continues to debate defense top lines and readiness gaps, eliminating duplication across branches would do more for national security than another round of symbolic increases. Do you think the Marine Corps is a duplication of something? No. 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 The Marine Corps is a unique, devastating fighting force.
Yes, they are.
On tradition, battlefield aggression, and the unrelenting dedication to their country and fellow Marines. If the Marines are so easily duplicated, give me an example of when and where. Oh, I'm waiting. The Marine Corps has earned its place in American lore. Shut the fuck up, you bitch ass, whiny, trainee pilot, washout, college.
Okay, he said washout at least. I would have just gone with failed myself, but he said washout.
Educated dipshit through service, sacrifice, and performance. Oh yeah, their lore of service, sacrifice, and performance. Performance! Oh my God, they perform well. We should get rid of them.
Yeah.
They do really good at the thing that they're doing. We should get rid of them. But offering the Marines their deserved respect does not require allocating over $50 billion per year for a mythology that is
myth again with fucking what is fucking wrong with this guy? Like, dude, crack a fucking book. Mythology, by its very definition, is recounting of stories that did not actually happen as sort of teaching tools for humanity, i.e., the mythology of the Greek and Roman gods, or the mythology of, like, the Japanese spirits, or the mythology that this guy has a brain. This is for a history that has not been redundant. He's trying to make it sound like Marines didn't actually do what they did. Like that, it's a conflation. He's replacing history with mythology to make it seem like what the Marines did is unimportant and doesn't really exist. That's the whole purpose behind this. He's trying to use conflating language to remove the successes and the actions that the Marine Corps has taken in the past. This is deliberate. He's trying to erase history to replace it with mythology, which is what all of these fucking failure DEI SJA asshats do. They are deliberately trying to erase history so people won't see it and go, oh yeah, these guys are badasses and it works. Because if they can erase history, then they can mold the future in their own shitty, completely brain-dead images that doesn't fucking work, but it sure does feel good.
Long been redundant. Instead, preparing for the challenges of the 21st century will require the institutional nimbleness, forward-thinking, and non-sentimentality that the Marine Corps has always embodied. What a f***ing word salad to end on that makes zero f***ing sense from a guy that did zero service and zero service with the Marine Corps on top of that. That will require the non-sentimentality that the Marine Corps has always embodied? This guy's brain dead. This is some mind-rot garbage slop. You don't hate the media enough. Best way to support the channel is get yourself a shirt. Boom! Jump out, boys. Brand new shirt. Police jump out, boys. Jumping out of cars and locking up tards. Cheapest way to support the channel is leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this article. Please, quote it. Say what's dumb. If you think this guy's right, you are probably wearing a helmet right now as you try not to smash your head against a wall or a door or jump off of a second-story building because you think that the voices tell you you can fly. But I'd still like to hear it.
What the f*** is that?
An idiot, drill sergeant. Actually, he's a Marine. An idiot, sir.
I really can't wait for you guys to like pick apart some of these lines in the article and then explain why that's the dumbest thing this casshole could possibly say.
Nice.
See you next time, weirdos.
We gonna get outtakes? Nope, no outtakes. God. What a fucking idiot. What would you expect from a failed pilot and a failed politician? The guy is literally trying to capitalize on his failures. It ain't gonna work.